Hi, everybody. Today I want to talk to you about the importance of having family story time with your children, regardless of their age. So, these are a couple of things that I have figured out along the way, and I just want to share them with you. The first one is you want a Bible story. Every single time you read to your kids, often at bedtime, you're going to want to read them a Bible story. Last time I talked to you, I talked about a different picture book for the Bible, but this one is really great too. This is published by Zonder Kids, which is a really great publishing company for Christians. And it has a colorful, modern day looking collection of Bible stories. So you start in the beginning, you've got Genesis. Each story is a couple of pages long, and you can tell your kids it's a chapter book and you're going to read one chapter at a time. It's really well divided. And if you read this whole book through to your kids within less than a year, you're going to have read all the Bible stories in the Bible to your kids. Now, the way I did it when my kids were small is we would read a Bible story every night, which was only 2 or 3 minutes long, and then we'd read a chapter from a chapter book. Now, depending on their age, it would not be a chapter book, it would be a picture book. But these are some of the children's picture books that I've really found that I love. This is called What Happens When I Talk to God, The Power of Prayer, and it's by Stormy Omartian. She's a really famous author. She has written the series of books, The Power of a Praying Husband, Praying Wife, Praying Teenager, and this is the kids' version. Again, the pictures are really contemporary, they're really modern, and so it's grabs kids' attention, a lot of pictures, just a few words, and it talks about the importance of prayer in your personal life. So this is a really great book. We have this one here at our church. Another one, there's a series, and we have here at church, we have two of them. This is called God Gave Us You, and this is called God Gave Us Christmas. And it's a mom polar bear talking to her little baby, and the baby says, "Where did I come from?" And it's really cool because you can use this in the story. The mom goes to the hospital and has a baby. So even though she's a polar bear and she lives in the snow. So you could totally read this with your child to talk about how God picked your child specifically for your family. And in this story, the child asks, well, where did Christmas come from? And is Santa bigger than God? And mom takes the baby outside and shows the baby all these amazing things that God made and talks about how Christmas is one of the gifts God gave us because of Jesus's birthday. And wow, it's really cool. It's that whole question and answer format that kids love. And here they go past a church and there's the manger scene, and the little baby's like, wow, I'm so thankful for Christmas. And so this again takes the emphasis off of the gift giving and it puts the emphasis on Jesus. A couple series that you might want to consider when you have family members that buy stuff for your kids. These Arch books, which have been around a long time, you can get them at a company online called the Concordia Publishing House, which is cph.org. There's a whole series of them. And some of them, this picture might look a little bit dark. It's about Good Friday, but there's a whole collection of these. And some of them are much brighter than others. There's Easter and Christmas and a lot of the Bible stories. So this would be a good series to start collecting is the Arch books. They've been around since I was a little girl many years ago. Of course, everybody knows the Golden Books. Well, the Golden Books has Disney and Looney Tunes and all that, but they have a whole Bible series. You can buy these for $0.25 at thrift shops or yard sales. Really cool books, and you could have a whole collection. Again, they're very kid-friendly, and the pictures are awesome. So Golden Books has an Easter book. They have a Christmas book. This is a Jesus book. They have a singing book. Lots of good stuff here. Now, of course, there's plenty more, but those were some of my favorites I wanted to show you. The last thing I want to show you is the chapter books. It's great to read Charlotte's Web and some of the children's classics, but something that you might not have heard of, which is beloved in my family, are the books by Patricia St. John. Now, Patricia St. John wrote about 40 years ago, but my mom read these books to us kids when we were little. This one is called Treasures of the Snow, and this one is called Star of Light. She wrote about 6 or 8 chapter books for kids. You can see how thick they are. But they're stories there's no pictures. It's a story that you would read maybe to older kids, and you'd read a chapter a day. But in the story, there is a main character who you really relate to, and then something bad happens, and the kid wants to hide the badness from the adults. And throughout the telling of the story, the kid has to come to realize that Jesus is the only way out of this really crazy predicament they've gotten themselves in. This one, I'll just tell you a little bit about it. The little boy is a bully, and the white cat follows the girl all around in the woods. They live in Switzerland. And one day he's teasing the girl, their neighbors, and he takes the kitten and he dangles the kitten over like a sharp cliff, and the kitten falls. And the girl panics, and the boy goes in after the kitten. And he is not fast enough, and the girl's brother goes in and he breaks his leg, and he's paralyzed. He can't walk, and it's really crazy. And this bullying part is a secret from all the parents. And so then they're like, well, do we tell? And at the very end, there's a redemption, and it's amazing. Really great plot, lots of pieces, lots of characters that you wouldn't know about. And this one is about a little boy who is an orphan in India, and he doesn't know about Jesus. And he meets a missionary lady who tells him about Jesus. And again, there's a cat that's one of the characters. And I remember hearing these stories as a little girl. I grabbed these because they're my two favorite Patricia St. John's. There are at least 6 of them. My own kids have been on the edge of their seat every time that I've read them. And I know we've read Treasures of the Snow at least 3 times in their childhood. The last ones from my childhood are a series about a girl named Joy Spartan. And Joy Spartan is a PK. She's a pastor's kid. And she has all this drama with her twin brother, Roy. We've got Roy and Joy. And it's all the crazy stuff that happens to them living in the parsonage, which is the pastor's house. And they're really funny. These stories are much shorter than the Patricia St. John. And I wanted to tell you about these because these are not widely known. You're not going to find these at a traditional Christian bookstore. This one actually I found on Amazon because I knew to do a search for the author. So would you please, when you're reading to your kids, think about how when you read the Bible, you're giving those Bible truths to your kids. Well, when you're reading a story, make sure the characters have a Christian motivation, because this is what you want your kids to remember. So I'm going to put some links in the comments where you can read more about these, but please learn about these books. Ask me if you see me in person, and I'd be happy to tell you more. Happy reading.